Good evening. Welcome to the February 2024 meeting of the Penfield Historic Preservation Board. I'm Tom Combs. I will call the meeting to order here at 5:30. First order of business is the approval of the minutes from the January meeting. If we all had a chance to look at them. Could we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
And a second, any discussion or edits or whatever? All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, thank you. Let's see, we have one major action item tonight, which is a certificate of appropriateness for 2187 5 Mile Line Road. And one of the homeowners, Dean Latten, is here with us tonight. Dean, come on up to the front table. Right there is good. We have those pictures to pop them up.
Okay.
The request is to change the siding from clapboard to vinyl. So I think we have a few questions we wanted to ask you. The first one, I was able to go by the house this week. And in your request, you said there's part of the house is already vinyl, and I couldn't tell where that was.
That is on the back side of the house. The house has actually three different materials. The front and the side on the driveway were returned back to the original clapboards. When we purchased the house, the entire house was in aluminum siding. The side that is to the neighboring house, the yellow house, retains the aluminum. But years ago, shortly after we purchased the home, the attached garage that was in poor condition was removed. Clapboards were in such poor condition. At that point, we just went with the vinyl.
Okay, so you've got a real mix in the house right now.
It's a little mishmash.
Yeah. Okay. Have you looked at painting it? Is it in just at the clapboard part?
It has been painted. The problem is that the height of the house is somewhat of a problem in terms of ladder height. And also, in the past, I've actually had broken my feet several times with standing on the ladder painting it. So it's also rather cost prohibitive. So we're looking to have something that's appropriate in its color, additional pieces of molding added that would be indicative of a house of that period. So we're looking to have something a little more maintenance as we are aging, and we'd like to be able to not be beholden all the time to the maintenance of that house.
Mm-hmm. Do you have other questions? I don't want to take all the conversation here. I did want to ask about you said you're going to leave the porch.
Yes.
As it is. So it's been protected, I guess, so the wood's in decent shape.
I mean, the clapboards are in good shape. The contractor that we're using suggested just maintaining the porch with its original, just having a matching color. Also, the corner there where you see the three windows, the angles also are rather difficult for the application. And so it was just suggested that we would be retaining the underside of the porch with the material that's used there on the ceiling, and as well as obviously leaving the original tongue and groove for the porch. Just be matching the color.
Is the material around the windows in the front there now, is that the original? Or is that?
That has been somewhat modified and added because when they put the siding on years ago, they had removed much of the molding from the windows. So you could see remnants of it, so we had replaced some of that.
Will the width of the vinyl match the width of the clapboard on the porch?
I believe yes.
Yeah, no, otherwise it might look like a mismatch.
Right, yeah. I'm pretty much a stickler for, I'm not a huge fan of siding, to be honest with you. I'm very much into architecture, and, so we've made, we had discussion with the contractor about making sure that it, as best as possible, it does not look like it's just been sided with just cheap plastic,
Yeah.
for the most part. So there, you can see in the picture, there's additional moldings that have been added. The gables, fish scaling, siding will be added up into there as well. So that is not going to be the clapboard.
Now, out of curiosity, the color is, it's quite dark. And I don't know if that's the way the picture came out or if it will be that dark. Is that?
It will be a somewhat of a medium kind of grayish. Yeah, a little bit more on the darker side.
Yeah,
So we wanted to have the contrast of the white, so it highlights the architectural details in addition to adding those pieces there that will separate the gable from the main body of the house, so that it highlights that because it's much lighter.
other questions or comments? Are we okay with the darkness of it? All right, are we ready for a motion?
I move we accept it, as the drawing depicts. Colors are acceptable, and,
Do we have a second?
I guess I'll second.
Any further discussion, issues, concerns? Okay, all in favor of the motion?
aye.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous, so we have approved it.
Thank you.
Thank you, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, how's the house holding up? It's very old.
It's in wonderful condition.
Is it? Good?
Yes, I mean, there's still remnants of its original cistern in the basement.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a very solid home. The attic is enormous, so,
it's a very steep roof line. Yeah.
oh, yes, it is. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Tom, is there some kind of guidelines that we should be following for that type of question?
My last question?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to get more specific and ask if there were, sloping floors or something, but just out of curiosity was why I asked.
No, I was asking about the vinyl siding, because it's not
Oh, I'm sorry.
overly historic material. And I didn't know if there's some sort of guidelines that we're supposed to follow, or?
Well, I think, first of all, we'd all love it if they could afford to, re-side it in clapboard or repair it. In this case, as I was mentioning to Steve when we started, it has had other siding on it to begin with, so I don't know how comfortable we'd feel asking for it to be, to go back to original when it hasn't been made original for a long, long time. And we have done it before. We've set a precedence of doing it with other houses.
Yeah, I think in general, it's up to your discretion as a board and what you feel comfortable with as far as what is being preserved, how much is being preserved, and, I think in general, it's about material, it's about color, it's about, that it's not the original siding, it's been replaced a few times now, and I think it's up to your guys' discretion as to what preservation looks like in the scope of that house. Is it important that it had the clapboard siding? Is it important what the color was? And it's up to your discretion as a board.
Yeah, it should always be a point of discussion, for sure.
If he does the clapboard, he would have to paint it, right?
Yeah,
So he would
you'd
As
have
it
to
comes.
replace a lot and paint it.
Yeah.
Okay, looking down our agenda, we just had an informational item for the Clark House.
Yeah.
Shannon, what's going on?
I don't have much of an update. I'm mostly just leaving it on the agenda to let you guys know that, everyone is still working on it. We don't have any updates to bring to the board right now. I relayed your guys' opinions about the foundation and about the chimney. Nothing has been moved forward with any of that at this point. So, right now, everyone's just still working on it. I don't have much more detail than that, but I'll bring it to you guys, as soon as we have updates. And I sent everybody the conditions report that we had, so everyone could have it as a refresher of what the current condition looks like and what we're working with.
So we had a schedule on that, right? It was the whole project? Was there
There was an original one, but it has since been changed just over the last couple of months. So I don't have anything updated. I just told Tom before the meeting that at our next gathering with Bergman, I'm hopefully going to get a new updated schedule on the timeline of everything. I think there's been some delays.
Is this something they hope to start this year, or is it something that's gonna be pushed to 25?
I'm not sure how far everything's been pushed right now. I think there's been a lot of back and forth. I don't even specifically know about what in detail, so hoping we're gonna have a meeting with them before the next meeting here, so I can give you guys a better update.
In the phase you're in now, is it like still conceptual, you're not into detailed design, or you're into detailed design?
I think
but not
they're
construction
starting
plans
to work on the demo plans.
yet? Okay.
I think that's what's the first step, because they need to demo first before they can go to the next step of building up the new everything and rehabilitating the portion that's going to be saved. So I think right now they're on demo. And still, I think they were doing surveying and finishing analysis of the building. So,
Well, and the demolition is critical for us because it's attached.
right.
So we want to be sure that they're not going to take pieces of the house down when they take.
Right, and I've made it very clear many times that, before anything is finalized and anything is worked on, they do have to come back to this board for the certificate of appropriateness for the demolition, because that was not done yet. So everyone is aware of that. So I think we're at least on track that they know. I don't know what the timeline is right now, though.
Any action on the barn?
No, there's been a lot of back and forth in emails about the status of having the barn, the condition report done for the barn. So that's where that is now. That condition report has to go to the town board for approval.
Correct.
So nothing really to report there. All right, any further items for discussion tonight? We are going to convene a brief executive session afterwards, so hang on. All right, thank you. We are adjourned.
Oh, we need a quick motion.
A motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
There is a motion.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we
Great.
are adjourned.
Thank you,
Mike.
everyone.